Sponsored by EA.
Hey everyone, it's AlluringSimmer here, and if you're new here, then welcome to Planet Allura, and if you've been here before, then welcome back. Today we are making Timmy, Tecna's boyfriend from the Winx Club. Before we get into today's video, I just want to share that I am part of the EA Creator Program, and you can use my code AlluringSimmer when purchasing Sims for a DLC, or visit my website at AlluringSimmer.com/creator to see other eligible EA titles that you can use my code AlluringSimmer for when making purchases on the EA app. And there's currently an EA summer sale going on from now until August 11th. So this is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of the discounts while also getting a chance to support me by using my creator code AlluringSimmer. I do have a sim challenge going on that y'all can participate in. I extended the deadline if you'd like to join in, and I'll have a link to the blog post in the description down below. I just want to say thank you so much for all the support recently in terms of using my creator code, just watching the videos, joining into the streams. I really appreciate you all as I am pushing for some of my goals. One of my biggest goals that I'd like to hit by the end of August is hitting 800 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and also hitting at least 2,000, maybe 1,500 watch hours on my channel. So consider to help me with these goals by watching videos all the way through, subscribing, liking, commenting, and just letting me know what you think of the videos. Now let's get into today's video where we are working on Timmy, who is Tecna's boyfriend from the Winx Club. Let's get into a little bit of his lore, and then I'll talk about his relationship with Tecna as well. So Timmy is the boyfriend of Tecna, as mentioned earlier, and he's also Helia's best friend. So Helia is the boyfriend of Flora. So if you watched the previous video where I made Helia, then you can learn a little bit more about him there, and I'll have a link to that in the description down below. So in terms of Timmy's personality, he is someone who definitely has a lot more intellect than like physical abilities, and I feel like you may have seen with some of the other partners that they're more like physical. Even if they're not someone who likes to be like aggressive or fight a lot, they still tend to have a bit more physical strength than Timmy does. However, because Timmy is so smart and intelligent, he is able to use his intelligence to create like different equipment, fix equipment when it's needed, and he's a really good technician and strategist when it comes to like coming up with plans of what to do. So similarly to Tecna, he loves tech, which makes sense, and that's also something that they can kind of bond over. So when I was giving him his traits, I gave him the geek trait. I also gave him the genius trait because I feel like that really reflects his personality. I do think I might change one of his traits to clumsy because it does mention that he can be clumsy from time to time as well, but we'll see later on. Maybe it's something that he'll eventually get, you know, through the, I don't know what they're called again, but like, you know how they can earn traits in gameplay. Maybe that's something that will happen to him naturally. Or maybe I'll change like genius or geek to clumsy and then have those other traits come to him naturally through gameplay. A little bit more about Timmy is that he is very level-headed, and he's someone that the other specialists tend to turn to when they're not sure what to do. I don't remember if it was Aisha or Flora who also had a level-headed partner, but I know there was one of them where they said like the group tends to go to that guy for advice as well. So it seems like within the group they have multiple people that they're able to go to if they need advice or if they just need someone to talk to about things that are going on. So as I mentioned before, when I was talking about some of the traits that I might potentially give him, I did say that he can be clumsy at times, but something about him is, despite the fact that he's clumsy and sometimes a bit goofy as well, he can definitely be serious when it's necessary. So he knows when to like take charge and take things a bit more seriously, and he also knows when it's time to like be a little bit more silly and, you know, just try and make others laugh. Okay, so let's get into like his weaponry of choice. So with the other guys, as I mentioned before, like they have more like physical strength, or they may rely on like the magical tools that they use, while Timmy relies on high-end technology as his weapon of choice. Some of the high-end tech that he uses includes a crossbow that shoots yellow blasts, an energy bow that he can use to also shoot out like energy things. And then he's also like very smart, so he's able to create like a strategy even with like the simplest of tools. For example, there was a time where he was able to just use a slingshot and 2 coconuts to win in a fight against an enemy. In terms of his skills, he also knows how to ride dragons, battleships, and wind riders. I don't know how we're really gonna bring that into the gameplay because obviously we don't have dragons or ships in The Sims, but we could definitely have him like, I don't know, we can figure something out for him. And then I feel like in terms of like the energy weapons, maybe we could use like the Star Wars you know, Star Wars Batu stuff. I feel like I never make use of that, but I think it'd be fun to give him like a lightsaber or something and have that be like his weapon of choice. Now, when it came to making his outfit, as you may have saw earlier for his formal wear, I've been giving them their specialist outfits for that look. And something that I didn't do with the other Sims, but I did with him, was I gave him the little like glowing bow tie. And I think I'm going to use that as a way to distinguish between all of the different guys by giving them a different color bow tie. The only one that probably won't get one is Aisha's partner, only because he's technically not part of the specialist. But for Timmy, who's Tecna's boyfriend, I gave him the yellow bow tie because he has a little yellow gemstone on his specialist outfit. Something else that I'll definitely be doing at a later time is going in and updating all of their like turn-ons, turn-offs, likes, dislikes, so that way I can give them more personality. I'll be using things that I know about their personality, and also keep in mind like the things that the girls would want in their partner. I will add those traits and those characteristics to these Sims, so that way they can perfectly match with whoever they're meant to be with from the show. Now, when it came to his looks other than his everyday and formal, similarly to the other guys from the specialist group, I just put outfits together based on what I think they would dress like, based off their style from like other looks that they wore in the show. And it was really fun putting together his look. He has more of like a nerdy sort of style. He's definitely a little bit more like shy in terms of his personality, and I wanted to kind of reflect that in the outfits that he wore. While I feel like the other ones I gave more like a confident vibe, I wanted to give more of like a goofy, like silly sort of vibe with some of his looks, including his swimwear. And before we wrap up this video, I definitely want to go into his relationship with Tecna, one of the most important things to keep in mind for our Winx Let's Play. So he is the boyfriend of Tecna, and they both match very well together. They're both really involved in like tech. They both love working with tech, and they both have a similar IQ. They're both very intelligent, which is good. He's someone who wants to like prove himself to Tecna, which I think I've noticed with a lot of the guys. They really want to prove themselves to their partners and show their worth, which I really like. And he's also very sweet. Even though he's shy, he's very sweet towards Tecna, and that's something that really attracts Tecna to him. His personality is probably one of the most things. Obviously, I'm sure she thinks he's cute too, but like his personality, his intelligence are the things that attract Tecna to him most. So that's a little bit about Timmy, Tecna's boyfriend. I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about his lore. I'll be having another one of the boyfriends in the specialist group of the Winx Club later this week, so stay tuned for that. Consider to like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and comment down below what your favorite look is, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye everyone.